If you've been working to improve your single tonguing on the trumpet, but what you get is thunk, 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 I've been there. I remember listening to my teacher play, and he popped every note. It was so clean. When I played, I got thunk, thunk, thunk. I wanted the clean pop. I worked at it, and eventually I started to get it, and then I got it. But you know, if you research on the internet how to single tongue on the trumpet, you're going to find different responses to that question. In this video, I'll give you my response, my way of tonguing that lets me start and play notes like this. If you like the sound of that, then this video is for you, and I'll do my best to explain what I'm doing and how I developed it, and I'll give you ideas for how you can develop your skills to single tongue like this as well. In short, I'm going to help you go from thunk to pop. Hi, I'm Deanna. When we talk about tonguing, whether it's single or multiple tonguing, we're talking about how the note starts when we use our tongue. But the tongue doesn't work alone. Even good placement won't make up for a lack of an unseen element. I'm going to address both the placement of the tongue and that unseen element. We use our tongue to do single tonguing by flicking it up into position at our teeth and then getting it out of the way again to let the air come through. But where does it land on our teeth? Well, the consonant T sound is the closest sound to think of when we're talking about tonguing. And I know a lot of books have tu or ta written in the music to help guide new players on how to tongue. I have a couple of thoughts about that. My first thought about using the syllable ta or tu, and especially in the low range for myself, I find that the start of the note and the tone that follows, I'm not super happy with. Getting my open tone is more work. My tongue is too high. It's harder to get it out of the way for the open tone that I want to follow. Now maybe others can do it, but not me. I have trouble doing it anyway. My specific placement for my tongue is a little different than that, and I'll get to that in just a moment. My second thought about the tu or ta indication is they're good as an indication for how to end the sound, and I'm going to get to that as well. First, let's unpack tongue placement for starting the note. When I go and do my single tonguing, I think there may actually be a little variation for where my tongue lands on my top teeth due to playing different ranges and styles. But for the most part, when I'm tonguing, my tongue tip goes down. If this is my top teeth, it goes down to the bottom of my front teeth, and I can actually feel on the top of my tongue the bottom of my teeth. The tip is actually slightly forward of my teeth. It's not a long way forward. I feel that right there on my tongue at the bottom of my teeth. Essentially, I'm doing this. And it is a little bit like I'm spitting. I'm not exactly spitting, but it's that as if you were spitting. You're gonna spit something out. It's where the tongue lands when you make that sound. This is how I tongue. After starting the note, it's very important that the tongue gets out of the way quick to let the air come through unobstructed through your instrument. Move it to the position that lets you have an open and centered tone on the note that you're playing. When I was learning, and even still, I did and still do different things to work on my tonguing. And I'm going to tell you what really, really helps with this. It's, as I said, an unseen element that's really key. But first of all, let's practice one-off notes, just listening and adjusting as we go. Then what you could do is you could pick a scale that you know and do repeated notes, listening and adjusting as you go. Okay, now there's this unseen element that really, really helps if you focus on it. The tongue is no good on its own. Even good placement won't make up for a lack of air. Good tonguing needs you to blow. So when you're practicing, experiment with how much or how little air works with your tongue. Do it with the scales. You can play other things too. Clark studies are really great for this. So, you're going to really work at making it happen, because you can get a fairly clean start, but it isn't popping. And popping takes a real kind of focus with the air and the tongue moving together. Play music you're working on, and you can repeat notes to work on them. I often do that with the Clodomir studies when I'm working on those. I'll take care of the staccato later. I just want to get a nice clean start to the note. And then I'll go back to how it's written. Each one I'm giving a nice, good amount of air to get it started. And I have to do a shout out to Mr. Getchell. I've been playing through his first book of studies and posting them as shorts. They're excellent for working on your tonguing. They may look easy, but getting good, consistent starts to every note, well, let me say, I've had to work at that. Check those shorts out because they're really good, and get a copy of that book if you don't have it already. I want to talk about the indication that I mentioned earlier that we see on music, the tu and the ta. And I said it doesn't really work for me for starting the note, but I think that it's actually a really useful thing to think of for finishing the notes. When you say tu or ta, either of them, it's open at the end. Tu. The tongue gets out of the way, and then we just, until we stop blowing. And we want to play our notes the same way on the trumpet, but with the beginning the way I've been doing it. And it just goes. Get used to just letting it go. So approach the tonguing with that in mind as well. Getting good tonguing, getting good single tonguing, is really a let your body figure it out situation. You have to gain the coordination between your tongue and your air so that you can do clean tonguing that just pops. You need to know what you want for a sound, and then you just keep working at it. Observe and adjust how you're blowing, how you're moving your tongue. Be determined, but also patient with yourself, and you'll get it. You'll go from thunk to pop. And soon your tongue will be nicely decorating the starts of your notes. I have no doubt about that. Okay, so I have 3 quick things before I leave you. 1, in the comments below, let me know if this video helped you and how. And if you have any questions still about tongue placement and how to work on this. 2, If you're wondering about common tonguing articulations that we have to play, that video is right here. 3 and last one. If you really want good tonguing, you need good air and tone production. This video can help. That's it. Give this video a thumbs up, please, if you found it helpful. Keep working on your tonguing. You'll get it. And I'll see you in the next video.